Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if it is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Please drop me a comment, say hello, and hit the like and or the subscribe button at the end so you can stick around and see more. But this week I am reviewing the DJI MAVIC Mini. For those of you that have followed my channel for a little bit, you probably know that I crashed my DJI Spark into a waterfall at Watkins Glen, New York. It was not fun. It was awful for me. I just felt terrible, and I really missed, flying the drone for the past few weeks. So I did. I went out and bought a new drone. I did not go back with the DJI Spark, although that was my intention. I was just going to replace the Spark because I had the battery charger, I had multiple batteries, I had the case, I have all the stuff. But after, reviewing the Spark and reviewing the MAVIC Mini and weighing the pros and cons, I went with the DJI MAVIC Mini and really glad that I did. So this review is going to be mostly about MAVIC Mini. I will compare and contrast to the Spark here and there throughout the review, but mostly I'm going to talk about the pros, which far outnumber the cons. So let's just jump right into it. So the first thing and most popular thing about the MAVIC Mini is the weight, right? 249 grams, which allows you, if you're in a country like Canada or Morocco, and there's several other countries out there that have flight restrictions and require you to take a test, get a license, pay money for all the above. It's just, they make it very difficult unless the weight of the drone is under 250 grams. So DJI, being the smart people that they are, they created a drone that was under 250 grams that is really packed with a lot of features, innovation that is usually in the larger, more expensive drones. So weight being at 249 grams is certainly the number one pro. The second one for me is usability, and right out of the box I was able to get up and get connected and get flying like right away. As soon as I had everything charged up, it was super easy to get connected and be ready to go fly. That was not the case when I bought the Spark. It took me days and watching several YouTube videos and maybe an email or two to DJI and the assistance of a 21-year-old son who is tech savvy to help me get connected and get ready to fly with the DJI Spark. It was just, I can't really, explain in detail why it was so difficult, but it definitely was. Compare and contrast to the MAVIC Mini, that was literally plug and play. So as soon as my batteries and my remote were charged and ready, and it connected, and I was flying in the backyard in minutes. It was awesome. So next up on my list is the gimbal. So on the MAVIC Mini you get a 3-axis gimbal, whereas on the Spark it's 2. The MAVIC Mini definitely delivers a smoother image, more cinematic image than I was getting on my Spark. The 2-axis gimbal on the Spark, every time there is some wind or you want to turn, it was more herky-jerky, and the gimbal on the Mini is so smooth. You can just get that nice cinematic you know, pan across, up or down. I've been, you know, very, very happy with having the 3-axis gimbal that the Mini provides. So next up is the app itself. Now, DJI has gone to a newer app. It might be, you know, it's new to me, definitely. The other app I was using on the Spark was DJI 4. Now I'm using their new app, and it's a lot more user friendly, which is what I need. Much more user friendly to switch from position mode to cinematic mode to sport mode. It's literally just hitting the button. You don't have to go into any menus or anything like that. It's right there in front of you. It's a lot easier also to switch back and forth from shooting video to shooting stills and going inside that to choose your frame rate and things like that. Also on the app, it's super easy to get to your quick shots, the rocket, the helix, the circle, right there, right in front of you. Hit a button, draw the box around your targets, and away it goes. And you know, for a beginner drone pilot, those motions, those built-in patterns are just awesome. You can get beautiful cinematic shots, you know, just using these built-in quick shots. So I really like that and use it a lot. Also on the app, it's super easy to see, you know, how much battery life you have, what your range is, what your distance is, where you're at. You can actually tap right on the battery icon on your screen, and it'll open up and show you like even the temperature of your batteries and things like that, obviously, as well as the life you have left in your battery. So very cool stuff and easy to use. And that's the mantra here, is just ease of use, which, you know, I'll consider myself a beginner drone pilot. I had the Spark for about a year before I crashed it. And that's what a beginner needs, right? It's just something that's easy to use to get them up, get them flying, get some experience, see what they can do with the drone and get creative with it, and, you know, and bring it back home safely, right? So, which actually is a very good segue to the controller. The controller is pretty basic, pretty much the same as what you get with the Spark. The thumbsticks, they twist right off and they store inside the controller itself. But other than that, the remote's not much different than the one you're going to get with the Spark. The return to home button, you know, I was not a big user of the return to home button when I was flying the Spark, but I wish I had been. I started using it with the Mini and love it. You know, it does exactly what it says, brings your drone right back to you. You want to make sure you set in the parameter the height for the limit of the altitude for return to home. You don't want it, you know, to be a low altitude. You want to make sure it's up above the trees. So right now I'm set at 30 meters, which I think is good. But make sure you go into settings and set your altitude for return to home. That's very important. Now this one might seem a little petty, maybe, I don't know. On the Spark, where you put your memory card, you had to flip up this little door. And, you know, I've got big hands or whatever, and it was always a chore for me to kind of get that door open. So on the Mini, it's just wide, it's right there. You don't have to open the doors. Where you put the card is not hidden. You just slide it right in. So I like that a lot better. It's something small. It's not, you know, a game changer by any stretch of the imagination, but it is, you know, it is helpful. All right, next up, battery life. The battery life on the Mini is really, really good. I'm getting about 22 to 25 minutes of flight time, and that's bringing it back at like about 30% battery life, right? Because you don't want to be out there over a lake or something, you know, when you're getting low on battery. So yeah, but you know, I think 25 minutes is probably about the most flight time that I've had, but with the Spark it was considerably less. You know, I'm sure the 249 gram weight of the Mini is a big contributing factor to the additional flight time, but I would assume they probably improved the technology of the battery itself. So the next thing I want to talk about really is the stability of the flight of the Mini. Being 249 grams, you might think that this thing's going to bounce all over the place, even in a slight wind. But I'm not finding that to be the case. I have flown it, you know, only, I don't know, between 7 and 10 times right now. But have flown it in some wind and did not see any issues. And the footage that I got, you can clearly see the trees blowing, you know, pretty hard. Video remains to be still and steady, and when I was flying the drone itself, it was still and steady, and you know, that is kudos to the drone itself, and also the, you know, the 3-axis gimbal. So the stability of the Mini is much better than I actually inspected, so really pleased with that. Alright, one other thing I want to throw into the good column is the Fly More combo. If you have a little extra money, I would definitely invest in the Fly More combo. You get 2 extra batteries, you get the battery charger, you get the propeller guards, you get a couple extra propellers, and you get adapters for Android and iOS phones, which, you know, when I bought the Spark, I had to go out and purchase the adapter to connect my Spark to the controller. So that wasn't cool. So DJI, thank you so much for including the adapter for all the different types of phones. I appreciate that. But if you're at all serious about your videography and piloting and flying the drone and having as much enjoyment with your drone as you possibly can, I would definitely advise you to get the Fly More combo. Last I checked, it was $500 US for the Fly More combo. And you know, if you bought those things, all those things that I just mentioned separately, you're going to spend way more than that. So yeah, if you can swing it, I would definitely do the combo package. All right, but there are some things that probably need improvement, or some things that I wouldn't put in the good column. Would I call them bad? I don't know if I would go that far, but you decide. Let me know in the comments what you think. So the first one up is prop error. So even on my very first flight, I got this error message on my screen when flying, and it just said, you know, prop error. A certain prop is rotating too fast or something like that. Please land like ASAP. So I looked it up, and it seems like it's a common issue with the Minis. DJI said the fix is to replace the propeller, you know, that's spinning too fast or rotating too fast. Well, I got that error message on the maiden flight, so I didn't see why I would really need to replace that propeller, so I didn't. I tightened it down. DJI provides a little screwdriver, you know, a little tool for that in the Fly More combo. So I tightened down the propeller, flew it again, did not get that error message, but I did get it again, I don't know, 3 or 4 more flights later. So I think it might have something to do with the way I was storing it. Now I would fold the arms, you know, fold the arms up, and then the down arms would fold up. I'd put it in the case, and I think you have to just be certain that your propellers are positioned properly when you put it in the case. So I'm thinking that's the issue. I've only had that error message the 2 times so far. Hopefully I won't get it anymore. And hopefully DJI has a maybe it needs a firmware update to fix it. I'm not sure. Okay, so the next thing on the not good list, I just find the batteries. I love the batteries, I love the flight time, but getting the batteries in and out, just a little clunky. Again, I've got bigger fingers and bigger hands, so it's just a little clunky. The clunkiness is eased up now that I've used it a little bit more, but just getting, and I know this is petty, but just getting the batteries in and out, just a little bit clunky. Alright, so the next thing that is not so great in my opinion is it does feel a little bit toy-ish. So, you know, you're spending $500, which is a lot of money. It just feels, you know, compared to the Spark, it just feels a little bit toyish. Plastic is, you know, much thinner. And of course, that's what they had to do to get down to 249 grams. I get it. No problem. Not a deal breaker. But just so you know, to the touch and to the hand, it does feel a little more toyish than your Spark or your other DJI drones. Okay, so one of the other things that is not so great, and again, I understand why they did it. It ties directly to the 249 grams, but it doesn't have all the optical sensors that the normal drones have, so you have to be really careful. It's got some couple sensors under on the bottom of the drone for smooth landings, but other than that, there's no other sensors. So you have to be really careful, obviously. You know, flying around trees, bushes, things like that. You have to be very careful. And I don't want to crash another drone, so I have to be extra careful. And the toyish part especially comes into play, at least for me, when you're folding up the arms and, you know, getting ready to put it away in the case. I feel like, you know, when I'm collapsing the arms down and folding them up, I almost kind of feel like I could break the thing, and you know, obviously I don't want to do that. So yeah, so a little bit toyish to the touch, to the feel, but that's a little bit to be expected when you're buying a drone that's, you know, weighs 249 grams. Alright, so to sum this up, I would just say, if you're a beginner drone pilot, this is a great drone, a perfect drone to start with. You want to be careful, right, because it doesn't have all the optical sensors that the other drones have. But for the money, this is an outstanding drone and a perfect drone for a beginner pilot just to get started with aerial imagery, aerial videography, and just have fun and go create and be innovative. So yes, absolutely go out and purchase the DJI MAVIC Mini. Alright everybody, that is it. So hit the old thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the like, drop me a comment, let me know, are you thinking about buying the MAVIC Mini? Would you buy the MAVIC Mini, or would you buy something a little higher grade? And also, if you're new to the channel, please hit the old subscribe button. Check out some of my older videos. I'm really into landscape photography, but do a lot of other things too, like action photography, architectural photography. I want to do some astrophotography in the not too distant future. I shoot with the Nikon D.E.A.D, which in my opinion is the greatest camera on the market right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
I saw you downtown today, a little gray around the temples, but still way better looking than okay. I heard you and your missus had gone your separate ways. I guess I should feel sorry, play.